Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskritya.
Narayana Namaskritya.
Namascheva Narottamam.
Namaskritya Narottamam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasa.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasa.
Tato Jayam Udiraye.
Tato Jayam Udiraye.
Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu.
Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttamasloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhakti Bhavaiti Nestiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki.
So, the Lord. Pardon?
J'avais lu les versets. Je crois qu'il y en a un où il n'y a pas de teneur portée.
Oui, non, c'est aujourd'hui, c'est le 24, hein, c'est ça?
Ok.
Oui, c'est bon. Non. Merci, bravo, oui, non, il y a une teneur portée. 24, 24. Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Sarva Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Pravista Somam Abhivak.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Pravista Somam Abhivak.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Chandra Rikabhyam Cha Suchitaha.
Chandra Kabhyam Cha Suchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Sasuchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Sachuchita.
Devalingam Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsiddhi.
Pravista Somabhabhibhak.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Chandra Kabhyam Sasuchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Cha Suchita.
Devalingam Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Pravista Somabhabhibhak.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Chandra Kabhyam Sasuchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Cha Suchita.
Devotees.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Sarvanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsiddhi.
Pravishta Sumam Abhibhak.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhak.
Chandra Kavyam Chashutita.
Chandra Kabhyam Sasuchita.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsiddhi.
Pravishta Samam Abhibhaj.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Chandra Kabhyam Sachuchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Cha Suchita. Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalingam Pratichana.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsiddhi.
Svarbhanu Deva Samsadi.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Pravishta Somam Abhibhaj.
Chandra Kabhyam Cha Suchita.
Chandra Kabhyam Sasuchita. Translation word by word. Devalinga Pratichana.
Devalinga Pratichana.
Covering himself with the dress of a demigod.
Covering himself with the dress of a demigod.
Svarbhanu.
Svarbhanu.
Rahu.
Rahu.
Who attacks and eclipses the sun and moon.
Who attacks and eclipses the sun and moon.
Deva Samsadi.
Deva Samsadi.
In the group of the demigods.
In the group of the demigods.
Pravistaha.
Pravishta.
Having entered.
Having entered.
Somam.
Somam.
The nectar.
The nectar.
Apibat.
Abhibhat.
Drank.
Drank.
Chandra Akarbhyam.
Chandra Kabhyam.
By both the moon and the sun.
By both the moon and the sun.
Cha. and
and
Suchita
Suchita
was pointed out.
was pointed out.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of the sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod, and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation. Thus, Rahu was detected. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Morini Murti, was able to bewilder all the demons. But Rahu was so clever that he was not bewildered. Rahu could understand that Morini Murti was cheating the demons, and therefore he changed his dress, disguised himself as a demigod, and sat down in the assembly of the demigods. Here one may ask why the Supreme Personality of Godhead could not detect Rahu. The reason is that the Lord wanted to show the effect of drinking nectar. This will be revealed in the following verses. The moon and sun, however, were always alert in regard to Rahu. Thus, when Rahu entered the assembly of the demigods, the moon and sun immediately detected him, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead also became aware of him. Yada yadai dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuktanama dharmasya tadanadam srijamiham paritranaya sadunam vinasaya saduskritam dharma samstapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupa Sagraratam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sam Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Lalita Shri Vishaka Visamcha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kachana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Yaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We shall read the translation again. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of the sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod, and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation. Thus, Rahu was detected. Hare Krishna. So here is a very interesting point of interpretation of scriptures, actually, because here in the sloka it is said, without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what the verse says. And Srila Prabhupada says something a little different. He says, Srila Prabhupada, here one may ask why the Supreme Personality of Godhead could not detect Rahu. The reason is that the Lord wanted to show the effect of drinking nectar. It means that actually Srila Prabhupada here gives a little different interpretation or to the literal meaning of the verse. That is, the verse says, no one, even the Lord, could see Rahu, could detect Rahu. And Srila Prabhupada says, no, actually, the Lord could see Rahu, could. But he did that because of.
Yes.
You see? So, in other words, if we really have to understand the scripture by ourselves, by our very defective senses, it may be little tough, little difficult. Therefore, we have to approach authority to make sure that something is going on nicely in our philosophy. We have to check with three authorities: God Himself, Scriptures, and Guru and Sadhu. These are the points which make a point clear in the Scriptures. Here, the Sadhu, spiritual master, Acharya, who shows by his example, is giving a nice explanation for those who could just imagine that Lord cannot perceive everything. Of course, Lord can perceive everything. He's in everyone's heart, and therefore, of course, he knows everything about past, present, and future. The Lord is Trikalagya. So how could one even ever dream that Lord Krishna is not aware of the full situation? And another point in the verse is that it gives some interesting meaning according to astrology. Actually, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is a nectarian fruit of Vedic literature. Nigalpakatarvo Garitam Phalam Sukha Murita Amyutam Pibata Bhagavat Muhari Rasika Bhuvi Bavuka. Sorry. So, actually, there are so many topics which are explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. We have topics, the topics that we find in Bhagavad Gita, of course, that is to say, the Lord Himself, the devotees, time, karma, and material nature. Those are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. But there are so many other topics, including history, historical events, and many aspects of civilization. There is, for instance, the calculation of time with the atom, the description of the planets, of the whole planetary system in the fifth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which remains a mystery for many of us, actually, and the scientists themselves. And here we have interesting points about astrology. Rahu is one of the planets which are important in Vedic astrology, which is a little different, but not so different of, let's say, Western astrology. This Rahu here is actually detected as the sun, as an enemy of the sun and moon. Why so? Because Rahu is actually the planet. It will become a planet, as we shall see later. Shishadapai Shishva ki jai, Shishi Jaganet Baladev Suradevi ki jai, Sashita Gorenta ki jai. As we shall see later, Rahu will become a planet. And in Vedic philosophy and astrology, in Jyotish, he is detected as the planet who makes eclipses. Let's say twice or three times a year, generally, more or less. So it covers the sun and moon, and this is why it is described in the scriptures as being like swallowing sun and moon, and this is why it is described as being the enemy of the sun and moon. There are many points, links between astrology, Vedic astrology, and palmistry. actually. And in palmistry, Rahu lines also exist. In the hand, you've got lines, and the Rahu lines are lines here who go from one part of the hand to the other, and they are called in palmistry, in Vedic palmistry, as well as in Western palmistry, they are called as worry lines of problem. When you have these lines, and actually most people have these lines, it makes difficulties in family life, economic life, and so on and so forth. Very interestingly enough, we can see that these lines, they can be dated, because everything can be dated in a hand, and they date difficulties in life between, let's say, more or less the age of 32 till the age of 42, more or less. This, in this period of time, between 32 and 42, many people have difficulties in life. For Grihasthas, this is a period where the couple has to be settled down, and if they pass the test of 32 to 42, more or less the couple will be very strong. But many in the West, as I can see, there are many divorces between these two periods of time. Anyway, to come back to our verse, Rahu is detected, is analyzed in Western philosophy as more or less Saturn. Saturn, he has the philosophy of Saturn, that is to say, a person who is really a solitary man, who is really happy for perfection, very sad indeed. Saturn is a very sad planet, and persons who are really in astrology and in palmistry under the influence of Saturn, they are generally isolated person, very strong character, sad, but hardworking people. They achieve success, but after a lot of difficulties in life. So Rahu here is actually he's a clever person. He's a clever person, and he could sit in the assembly of the demigods, and he changed his dress, he disguised himself, so that no one could detect him in the assembly. That is to say that he showed some intelligence. And it shows that actually demons can have a very bright, in one sense, intelligence. There are many demons who are described all throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is a story between demigods, events between demigods, stories between demigods and demons, especially the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, who is really a nectar of such stories. And Rahu, as we shall see later, will lose his head, actually, and just as another demon that you may know, Shishupal, who really started to, out of envy, at the Ashvamedha sacrifice of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Maharaj Yudhishthira was installed on a throne, and at the time of the great sacrifice, after Battle of Kurukshetra, and actually, as Maharaj Yudhishthira was really, let's say, thankful toward Krishna, and a devotee of Krishna, of course, he offered the seat of honor to Lord Krishna in the assembly of the Yadu dynasty and the Pandavas and so forth. And actually, envious Shishupal could not accept that, because the definition of a demon actually is I am the one to be recognized. I should be put in the center of everything. If I am not put in the center of everything will go wrong. and therefore, out of envy for the Lord, Shishupal arrived in the assembly and started to criticize in front of everyone Lord Krishna, and everyone, and Lord Krishna himself, who is the source of Lord Vishnu, who is always so quiet and cool-minded, if we can say so, he remained quiet. He listened to the harsh words of Shishupal. He listened. He said nothing. But when it was really too much, when it was high time to do something, in 1 second, Sudarshan chakra, that is to say the chakra who opens the eyes of everyone, Sudarshana, Darshana means vision, and Su means positive vision. The Darshan, the Sudarshan chakra beheaded Shishupal. We can say actually that Shishupal's ignorance was beheaded. Actually, there is a symbolic meaning also, because the Sudarshan chakra opens the eyes of everyone. If it is not by devotion, it is physically speaking. So, and it is said that actually Shishupal's spirit, soul, entered the body of Lord Krishna. And there was a rumor in the assembly, a clamor in the assembly, and everyone was really struck with wonder on this extraordinary event, on this extraordinary Krishna Lila. So now, as Rahu, in our story, Rahu is considered in Vedic civilization as a bad planet, a bad man here, and a bad planet. And actually, there are special times of the day and special days of the week which are considered to be under the influence of Rahu, and in which we should avoid to do kind of important things or ceremonies. For instance, especially Lord Rahu, Saturn, although Saturn has got another name actually in Vedic astrology. It is Shani, I see. Anyway, Rahu is really strong on Saturday, the day of Saturn actually, Saturday, day of Saturn. And on Saturday, especially, you should avoid to do some important ceremonies, such as wedding ceremony. If you have a wedding ceremony, it is said on Saturday, generally speaking, you may have trouble in your life. Yes, this is what thank you, Prabhu. I was about to say, and there is a strong custom in Western civilization, if we can say so. At least in France, I don't know for other countries, but at least in France, everyone goes to get married on Saturday afternoon. See the problem somewhere. And because on Saturday, especially, and we have noticed in family life, for those who are Grihastha, I can say, it's a time where there is very often quarrels in the couple on Saturday. So we should keep quiet, chant more rounds, and Haribol. So Rahu is an intelligent demon. We said there are very intelligent demons in the Srimad Bhagavatam: Shishupal, Dantavakra, Hiranyakashipu, who actually all were really trying to fight and to fight against the authority of Lord Krishna. But such intelligence has to have an end, and the end is coming by death personified. As long as we are in the material world, we are bound by what is explained by Srila Prabhupada. Death, old age,
Death, old age, disease.
Yes, yes. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Yes, obviously, we cannot avoid this. So therefore, every intelligent or so-called intelligent personality on a practical and materialistic point of view has to face all these things, which we always think that it happens to everyone else, but it happens to us. It can happen to us very, very rapidly. For instance, I just lost one god brother very recently, 2 or 3 days ago. Unexpectedly, he got a heart attack, although we could not expect. He was supposed to be in good health, so really have to think of this. You see, it can happen to everyone. Now we are listening to the class nicely, or speaking about Krishna, trying to speak about Krishna nicely. What may happen today, we don't know actually. we don't know. So this is why always think of me and become my devotee. We have to think of Krishna all the day long. Manmana bhavad bhakto. We have to have our mind always full of Krishna, because death can happen at any minute, at any time of the day. And of course, you may know the story taken from Mahabharata, actually, where there is a discussion between, I think, Maharaj Yudhishthira or Arjuna. Yudhishthira and Yamaraj.
Yaksha. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the commentary to the story is a discussion, and actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj is really so he cannot understand how or really everyone actually around him is leaving his body one day or another, but still everyone believes that he's immortal, more or less. And it happens to everyone else, but to me it cannot happen. And actually we really behave like this. And actually Lord Yamaraj in the story is actually pointing out that this is the most amazing thing in the world. The most amazing thing in the world. That death is around us, and actually we cannot perceive it. Our point here is actually everyone is trying to escape this world of death, and the planet where we are supposed to go after we leave this material body is called Vaikunta. Vaikunta means the place where there is no anxiety. So, but actually, no one can escape death. The only one who can save us from death is actually Lord Krishna. Actually, Lord Krishna. Krishna is the master of everything and of everyone, and he's even the master of Yamaraj. If Lord Krishna decides that you can live more, you can live more. He's described as a transcendental autocrat by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his introduction to Brahma Samhita. Lord Krishna is a transcendental autocrat. He describes for everything. And there is a saying said by Srila Prabhupada sometimes, you may know it as well, Rake Krishna Mareke, Mare Krishna Rakeke. If you have to die, no one saves you, and if you have to be saved, you will be saved anyway. And there is a story still we can recall about Lord Krishna when actually he saves people. Actually, there are there are a few stories in Krishna book and in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The first one is when Lord Krishna is actually taking from the grips of Varunadev, the son of Sandipani Muni, who is actually his master, his Gurudev, as far as school is concerned. And actually, yes, Sandipani Muni, yes, he had taken a bath. No, this is another story, I get confused. No. Still anyway, at some point, at some point, Lord Krishna is saving the son of Sandipani Muni. But there is another one from the grids of Varunadev. But there is another story at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, where actually there is a Brahmana. The story takes place in Dwarka, and there is a Brahmana who loses his sons one after another after they take birth. And actually this Brahmana is very much aggrieved about this, because in Vedic civilization the king is so powerful that he can even save the citizens from death. And we can see the parallel here with modern demoniac civilization, in which actually the king or the governor or the leader, the president of the republic, is actually encouraging death, more or less. There are many discussions in France today about abortion, again, coming back every 10 years. There is description about the euthanasia. Euthanasia, yes. And there is a strong discussion about this. And you see, Vedic civilization is life civilization. And modern society is death society. So, to come back to our story, the Brahmana was very much aggrieved, and he went to see King Ugrasena, yes, King Ugrasena, at Dwarka, and he complained, oh dear king, this is not normal. This is not normal. What is going on? The Kshatriya order is not performing his duty. In the Kshatriya, the very word Kshatriya means the one who gives protection. So, not performing his duty, my child is dying. He is dead. He has been taken away somewhere else, supposedly by Yamaraj. This happens once, twice, and 3 times, and each time the Brahmin comes and complains to the king. And at what time that was Lord Arjun, not Lord Arjun, yeah, he's still a lord in one sense. Arjuna, the companion of Lord Krishna, is hearing the conversation and the complaint, he sees that the Brahmana is losing faith in the Kshatriya order, and therefore he is very disturbed. And as Arjuna is very proud, he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya are proud and fierce, and they are ready to fight. He said, I'm Arjuna, definitely, O Brahmana, this will never happen again. And I promise that this will never happen again. But it happened again. And the last son of the eighth, I believe, the eighth son of this Brahmana was taken away. And the Brahmana was in all, he was really sad and upset, to say the least. And he complained again, and he said he went and see Arjuna and told him, just see, you see, you're very weak actually. You didn't do your duty. You speak nicely, but what is the use of your speech if you cannot do what you promise? If you cannot fulfill your promise. And Arjuna was really upset as well. And Lord Krishna heard the conversation between Arjuna and the Brahmana, because Lord Krishna can hear everything actually. Lord Krishna can see everything. He can see, he's aware of all situations, just like here, Mohini Murti, in her verse, she's aware of the situation, although she may appear not to notice. So, and therefore, Lord Krishna told Arjuna, okay, we have to do something. Let's go back. Let's go to another planet to see where the Brahmin sons are. And actually, this was the occasion for a big trip, we can say, with Arjuna and Krishna on the same chariot, going to the spiritual sky, passing through the barrier of the universe in order to reach the spiritual sky and take back the sons, the Brahmin son. It was actually a pastime because Lord Vishnu wanted to actually have the darshan of Lord Krishna. Even Vishnu wants to have the darshan of Lord Krishna. Very interestingly enough, it is explained that actually in the scriptures it is true that Krishna is an avatar of Lord Vishnu. It is true also. So how to understand the point? Because we also know that Lord Krishna is avatari, the source of all avatars. The point is actually, and actually Lord Vishnu is the first expansion of Lord Krishna, Krishna's first expansion. But actually, in fact, Krishna is the Lord of everything, but in order to appear on the planet, he has to go through Vishnu just as a gate. For instance, the king is present and is reigning in his palace. But if the king wants to go out, he has to pass through a door, and therefore Vishnu is kind of door to the spiritual, to the material world. Therefore, it is true also that Krishna is in one sense, avatar to Lord Vishnu. But Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. Of course, Krishna is the source of everyone and everything. So, Rahu could understand that Mohini Murti was cheating the demons, and therefore he changed his dress, disguised himself as a demigod, and sat down in the assembly. Yes. Rahu shows here enviousness. He cannot accept that Mohini Murti is actually giving favor to the demigods and actually cheating the demons. Envy is really the clue to material life. We are envious of Lord Krishna, and this is why we are here on the planet, because we cannot accept that Krishna is supreme. And but if we cannot accept that Krishna is supreme, as we said before, we shall have to understand that Krishna's energy is definitely going to take care of our case. Because there is, as we mentioned, birth, death, old age, and disease, and no one can escape death. In the 11th canto, 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the universal form is showing her form as death personified, and all the warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they are already dead. And Arjuna sees this. Actually, as long as we are taking birth here in our material body, presently speaking, already we are starting to die. So really have to be prepared to this. And again, let's think of Krishna at any moment of the day and the night, and more if we can. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Other comments or questions?
I wanted to know that as we accept spiritual path, devotional service, bhakti, and we say that it is the highest, and how much in devotee's life is there influence of the planets and palmistry and astrology, and what is the relation? I mean, purpose is just reject everything, like for example even going to doing ceremonies for the ancestors. So Prabhupada says that one who has taken to devotion service, it's not for them, it's just for other people. And many times we hear there's a contradiction. How much it influences a devotee's life, or does it influence a devotee's like transcendental because he has taken shelter? What is the...
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Actually, if we are really super elevated persons, devotees, trying to be devotees, the only thing we have today to do every day is just to be situated in one corner of the temple room or anywhere, and chant Hare Krishna all the day long. Practically speaking, this is our only duty in life, if you really make the summary of the scriptures. But really, can we really do something like this? Frankly, no. You may try to chant one or two, twice, or even more if you are advanced 64 rounds, but you cannot. Therefore, definitely, there are rules and regulations which are here in the scriptures. I think we have spoken the point one day, but still anyway, we can still say again. There are rules and regulations, and there are customs, let's say social customs that we have to follow. But we should not be too much attached to this. but we have to follow because they are just like sticks in which we can grasp. We have to have we have to follow some rules and regulations in order to have a peaceful society. Even Srila Prabhupada himself, as far as I know, he had a Vedic wedding, I suppose. And his wife was selected according to Vedic lifestyle by arrangement between families. And Srila Prabhupada also followed. Followed. Although we may not have details, but we don't speculate by saying that he followed the first grain for the children and so on and so forth. We have to have all this, but not to be too much attached. As far as Palmistry is concerned, a field which I know a little more, it is completely in accordance with the scriptures. Prabhupada says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, that when we clap hands, it changes our future. It is said that in Palmistry, everything is written in the hands. This is true. As well, it is true also that everything is written in the astrological chart. True. And as we know, when Srila Prabhupada took birth, appeared in this material world, his family made an astrological chart. And even in Krishna's pastimes, it is said that Gargamuni came to meet Nanda Maharaj. No, Vasudev, Nanda Maharaj, I don't remember. Met Krishna's family, Nanda Maharaj, yes, Nanda Maharaj, in order to have an astrological chart and to see what was going to happen to this wonderful child, Lord Krishna, actually. And in both cases, actually, it was both for Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna, or for Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, it was predicted that the personality was a very special personality who would accomplish very special things. You see? Everything is written already in our hands, in our astrological chart, but by the power of Bhakti, it is true that we can change things. It is true. The power of Bhakti is actually the manifestation of our free will. Free will. We always have some free will, and our free will is Bhakti. Free will manifests through devotional service. As you, if we do not follow devotional service, definitely we really are under the influences of the modes of material nature, and therefore our free will, in one sense, completely diminishes, is finished, and therefore we cannot do much in our life. But as long as Bhakti manifests, then we can even change some aspects of our astrological chart or what is written in our hands. If we have to go to Rome or to Moscow or whatever, we shall go there because it is written somewhere in our astrological chart or even in our hands. But the way we reach such places, it depends on us. But anyway, by the power of Bhakti, we can change many things, everything actually, more or less. But still, we have to follow some social customs in order to have some peaceful society. Did I answer your questions, more or less?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Can we say that everything who can help us in path of bhakti should be used, even if astrology can help us in the path
Yes.
of bhakti.
Yes.
Like this, our goal is not to become astrologer, but more to use this that Krishna gave to help us to develop our bhakti.
Yeah. Yes, actually, very good point, Prabhuji. Thank you. Actually, yes, we should use everything in the service of Krishna. It's a rule. I know one very nice Maharaj, actually. All Maharajas, more or less. All Maharajas are very nice in ISKCON, but there is one who is
Bhanuswami.
what is it? Banuswami. But there is another one, the one American devotee, very senior devotee. He's a great astrologer. Very great astrologer. What's his name? No, not Pralananda Maharaj. Pralananda Maharaj. We had a conversation together. He spoke to me about astrology, and I read his hands. He was very. He's a strong astrologer, and he's very accomplished yogi, physically speaking. He follows a very strict yogi diet, and although he's quite 70 or something, even more, because this generation of devotees still in good shape and strong brain. So everything should be used at the service of Lord Krishna. Yes, if it is used as a service of Lord Krishna, it becomes nice. But a knife can be used to kill or to save. Hare Krishna. Chapeau Patita Pavanaki. Jai.